Hey, how's it going, everybody? So today we're going to continue on the series on my battle against broke carpet cleaners. Um, the whole goal here is to battle against something that is a problem that I perceive as a problem in the industry, and that is people that are in this business and are struggling constantly, year after year, decade after decade, and just can never seem to get ahead. And it's this whole thing in the industry. It's become a joke. Oh, you're just a broke carpet cleaner, and we shouldn't be broke carpet cleaners. We should be professional businessmen and women that are in the business to make money, to make a profit, not to struggle year in and year out constantly through our whole lives, and to die broke or retire broke or never be able to retire at all and just living on Social Security. That is not where we need to be. We need to be business owners. And today we're going to cover something that I see constantly, whether it's on Facebook posts, all the time. I'm on these forums and I see this question come up nearly daily. I belong on a lot. I'm on a lot of different forums, and I see this question come up almost every single day. Someone will ask, how much do you charge for this? Or how much is a staircase going for? Or how much do you guys charge for strip and wax? Or how much do you guys charge for furniture? What's the going rate for this? What's the going rate for that? And I see these come up all the time, and I'm frustrated by the fact that it continues to happen over and over and over again. And then I read through the comments and the answers for these things, and all we're doing is giving a broad answer to these guys that are getting in the industry. And maybe some of these guys have been in the industry and they still have trouble charging for their services or knowing what to charge for their services. And what I'm seeing the answers are like, what do you charge for carpet cleaning? It might be from, hey, I charge $15 to $20 a room, and I charge up to $80 a room. And it's not helpful, first of all, to tell someone, well, this is what I charge. It's not good to set your prices like that. It's not how we need to be setting our prices. We need to know the facts about it. What do we have to set our prices at? Can we run these numbers to make this price work? Or is this not a price that's going to work? Can we charge $25 a room, or do we have to charge $40 a room? If we don't know our numbers, then we cannot set our prices accurately to guarantee that we're going to make a profit in our business in the long run. It's not about, hey, you know what, I'm going to pound this job out and I'm going to make $100, and then you get home and you have $100, but then we figure out after we've been in business for a while that no, we don't have the $100 because we had to pay ourselves, and we had to buy expenses, and we had to pay gas and this and that. And pretty soon that 100 is whittled down to $40 or $30 or $20 because we underpriced the job that we were on. We were there for 2 hours. We've all underpriced things, and we all undercut ourselves and end up regretting the fact that we charged that low amount. But what I'm seeing happen in the industry is nobody knows, and everybody's setting their prices by asking what someone else is setting their prices at. And we just can't do it. We can't continue to have a race to the bottom. You typically, how much you charge? Well, I'm charging $50. Okay, I'll charge $45.95. And he's charging $45. Okay, I'll go down to $39. And pretty soon it's just a race. It's a fight for scraps, which are a bunch of dogs just fighting for the scraps of what's left over. Because we think, we have to be the cheapest one. It's always that race to the bottom. Instead, we need to learn how to evaluate our own personal numbers to come up with a price that makes sense, that's going to be profitable for the business. If it's not profitable, then we simply raise our prices. Right now is a good example. We got gas prices through the roof. And I hear people all the time on these forums saying, hey, you know what are you guys going to do? I mean, how are you going to pay for, I'm going to be out of business if I have to pay these gas prices. And I'm thinking, why would you be out of business if the gas prices go up? Any other business in the history of the world, if gas prices go up and their shipping costs go up or whatever goes up, all they do is take a look at their services. Okay, we're going up 10%. That's going to cover the gas cost. And in the carpet cleaning business, we're like, oh my God, we can't raise prices. We'll never get any work. And that mentality that, oh, if you raise the prices, you're never going to have anybody show up and want your services. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's a lie that we tell ourselves, and it's straight up just fear of doing it. Fear of saying, you know what, I'm just going to raise my prices. And we're too afraid to do it. Many people just will never do it because they're just too comfortable and they don't want to piss off their customers, and they feel that they're going to piss somebody off, and then nobody's going to come, and I'm never going to get any bids, and everything's going to collapse, and I'm going to die. So worst case scenario, you're going to die, but it's not going to happen. You know, I've raised my prices probably, 10 times over the years, 10, 15 times. I lost track. Pretty much any time anybody comes close, I'm the highest price in my market, and anybody that comes close to my price or matches it, I typically will just raise my price automatically just so I'm top of the market. But that's where I put myself. That may not be where you've put yourself, and that's fine. The only thing that matters is, are you profitable? If you're not profitable, then you have to raise your prices. But the main thing is how do we figure out if we're profitable? How do we figure out, how do we know if this price is correct or too low or too high, or is there a too high? What is too low, and all that? So real quick, I just want to go over the logistics of setting your price and how to do it correctly. So it's not hard, it's really easy. Once I lay it out, it's going to be simple for you to just sit down for a few minutes, figure it out, and you'll have a price structure. So let's go right into it. First thing you need to know when you set your prices is your cost of goods sold. So a lot of times we hear that and we think about retail establishment. This costs this much, therefore I have to price it at this much. But you have the same option when you're in the service business. So just imagine you're a carpet cleaner, tile cleaning, or doing any of your services that you offer. And then what you're going to do is you're going to give a cost for that service. And that's going to include your chemicals, it's going to include your labor or time, whether it's you or someone else, and then it's going to include fuel. And then if you have anything else that's involved in that service, whether it be towels or some sort of something or other that's disposable that you're going to use up on that job, that's going to be considered your cost of goods sold. You can call that your COGS for short. So if your COGS are $50 for the job, then you know that you have to at least cover your cost and then pad that with your profit or with the additional amount that has to be used, because your cost of goods sold, yeah, that's part of what you're running the business with, but the rest of it, you're going to have advertising, you're going to have vehicle costs, you're going to have all these other costs, insurance, and all these other things that come up. So you can't just do it for that. Even if you did it for that, say the cost was $50. If you did the job for $50, you're losing money now because all that money that you spend on other things doesn't get paid. So just as an easy kind of percentage, think at the bare minimum you have to double that cost. So your cost of goods sold should be at very minimum 50%. So you get to the job site, you say, okay, it's going to take me an hour or 2 hours or whatever, my cost I know are this. Okay, I take that, and 50% of this job is going to be cost of goods sold, the other 50 is going to be the extra. Okay, so if you have a job that you say, okay, it's going to cost me $50, you have to at least at the bare minimum charge $100 to do the job. If you don't charge $100, if you charge 60% cost of goods sold or 70%, the higher that percentage is, the less and less you're making on the job. The bare minimum should be 50%. If you can't achieve 50%, you're priced too low and you're going to have a hard time and you're going to struggle. The lower that percentage, the better you're going to be. So in my personal business, I try to be somewhere between 30 and 35% cost of goods sold. And bear in mind, I'm a high price cleaner. You may not be at that level or even want to be at that level. I service high price clients, I service high price commercial. That's my niche where I service. Your niche may be apartments, it may be something else, but you have to run those numbers just like you would or just like I would in my business. So if I'm at 35%, that's my sweet spot. It's where I want to be. And if you're comfortable being at 40 or 45 or 50, then that's where you want to be. So instead of going on a forum and asking, how much do you guys charge for this? Run your own numbers. And this is really important because when you ask that question, what is everybody charging for this? Do we know their numbers? Do we know how much cost of goods sold they have for any particular thing? We don't. So are they running a one truck operation with just one guy on a truck? Or are they running a 100 truck operation in the middle of Los Angeles where their costs are completely different than yours? That doesn't even enter into the equation. So when you're trying to compete with a Stanley Steamer in your town that has 7 trucks and you have one, I'm sorry, but your cost of goods are different. It's not going to be the same. When you have that multiple truck operation, it's a different animal altogether than the one truck guy. Typically, yeah, they can undercut you, because if you need to make $50,000 on your truck to make a living, and they have 5 trucks, and they're happy with making maybe $100,000, well, they could still undercut you, because now each truck only needs to make $20,000. You need to make $50,000 on your truck. They can undercut you and only make $20,000 on a truck and still make $100,000 at the end of the year. So you need to understand that when you ask that question, how much do you guys charge for this? It's not in your favor. The best thing you can do is just sit down for a half hour to 45 minutes and hash out your numbers. Go through everything that you spend on a job. For each service, tile cleaning is not the same as carpet cleaning. You're going to have different chemicals. You're going to have different things that cost more or cost different, and you need to know what that is. So if your cost for tile costs you maybe $75 an hour if you're adding sealer to the job, where your carpet cleaning cost, running 2 guys on a truck, is costing you $50. So that cost is different. So we know now, okay, my tile price has to be at minimum 50% cost of goods sold. Better the lower you get. And then, you can price yourself accordingly. And then if you do this consistently for all your services, for your upholstery, for your tile, for your strip and wax, for whatever you're doing, if you do this on a consistent basis and you have it written down and you know what your hard costs are, and there's nothing that's going to change them. Gas will change them. And then once the gas goes up, then you reevaluate. Okay, we're up to this amount. Am I still in my percentage I need to be? Am I still within 35 to 40%? And if you're not, then the price automatically goes up. It's not even a thought of, ooh, should I raise my price? You have to raise your price, because you're no longer in the percentage in your profit margin where you need to be. So you need to adjust the business accordingly. Think of it this way. Do you think that Target sets their prices by calling Walmart and saying, hey, how much do you charge for this TV? How much do you charge for a box of eggs? How much do you charge for a gallon of milk? No, they evaluate their costs, and they understand what their employees are running and what they need to run as a correct profit margin for a gallon of milk. They know what they need to price that TV at, because they've evaluated their business. They've taken into account their cost of goods sold for that product, and they know, okay, we want to be at a 50% profit margin. We have to price the TV at $1,000, period. There's no question about it. Can they run a sale? Yeah, they can say, okay, we can run a sale. We can knock the price down 10%, and we're still in a 40% profit margin. We're good to go with that? Let's do it. But they don't call around and check their competitors' prices. Does it play into it? Possibly somewhat, but it doesn't change the fact that their cost of goods sold are a fixed cost. And they know that if shipping costs go up, everything at Target or everything at the grocery store automatically goes up, because the shipping costs have to be covered by you guys going in and buying groceries. So when you go in and buy the groceries and that gallon of milk is 10 cents more a gallon, There you go. That's covering their shipping cost. They didn't ask you if they could raise their prices. You just went in the next week and they were raised. So that leads us into something else. Don't feel like you have to inform your client, oh, we're raising our prices. You don't have to tell them anything. Your price is your price. The last time it was $150. This time it's $165. Done. You don't have to explain this to them. Now, if they ask, simply say, I'm sorry, our costs are going up. That's it. You don't need this long drawn out explanation and trying to figure out, oh, well, maybe we can do this or that. No, that's it. You know what? Are you going to lose some clients? Not likely. Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. Typically, when I do a price increase, I lose nobody. I can't remember the last time a price increase has caused anybody to say, oh, I can't use you anymore. I don't think it's ever happened in the history of my business, and this is going on 30 years. I've had 10 to 15 price increases over the years, and not a one has caused anybody to leave. Now, do I lose phone call estimates? I don't do a lot of phone call estimates, but do people drop off the phone when they find out that my minimum's 150 or 200 or whatever that minimum is at the time? Yeah, some of them drop off, but the way you look at it is, okay, they dropped off, they didn't use me. That's not a lost client. They were not your client to begin with. They weren't the type of person that is going to value a valuable service. They value the price you're selling it at. So if your price isn't lined up with their budget, they're not going to use you. They're going to call somebody, and they're going to call 10 different people, and they're going to find the cheapest person on that list, and they're going to call that person. That person gets the job because they're the lowball cleaner. They're the person that is willing to do it for very little profit margin, and that's why they get the jobs. And they want those jobs. They're willing and they're able to work, or temporarily, maybe they're going to go out of business much quicker than you if you set yourself properly, but they're willing to do it at a 70 or 80% cost of goods sold. They think they're getting a lot of work, but they're not making a lot of profit. They'll go out of business or they'll struggle forever. And that's not where I want you guys to be. I want you guys to be in a place that is comfortable and that you can do the things that you've always wanted to do, and you have great equipment and it's always in good repair. And when you're ready to buy new stuff, you can buy it because you have the money there. When you're working on profit margins of that are very slim, it's just that you're walking a tightrope. When something bad happens, it wipes you out. So don't be in that place where you're afraid that something's going to happen. You just know the writing's on the wall. I don't have the money to pay for this, and it's going to be a problem if something goes wrong. And when something and when you're in a place like that where you're worried about something going wrong, guarantee you something's going wrong. That's just the way it works. That's the way life is. When you're walking that tightrope, the wind, the tornado comes in and knocks you off. And that's just the way it's going to be. If you set yourself up to succeed and you have that account and you have a buffer around everything that you do because you've priced yourself according to your numbers and not what your neighbor is doing and not what I'm doing and not what Jim down the street is doing, you've priced yourself because your numbers dictated to you what you have to charge, then you're in a spot that you could be very comfortable for a lot of years, and no amount of inflation and no amount of things going on around you and pandemics happening and the stock market crashing and people just in panic mode all the time, no amount of that happening is going to knock you off from that stable foundation that you've built for your business. So just make sure that you're not worried about what everyone else is doing, but you're evaluating your particular numbers. Your cost of goods sold is dictating how you're setting your price. And this will allow you to set a correct price no matter what the service is forever. So year after year is going to go by and you're going to have the correct pricing year after year after year that you know for a fact what you have to charge for something. You're not even questioning it. If someone asks, so if something happens tomorrow and the gas prices shoot up to $7 a gallon, you know for a fact all right, this is my new cost of goods sold. To keep my same profit margins, this is my new price. There's not even a second thought about it. And then you go out and you write that down on your next estimate, and that's the new price. And it fixes many problems that a low price causes, or that it, not necessarily low, but an incorrect price will cause in a business. An incorrect pricing structure will cause you nothing but trouble for year after year after year until you figure out how to do it correctly. So please, let's get rid of this stigma of everybody being a broke carpet cleaner. We are now professional business owners, and we need to own that title. Next time someone asks you, what do? You tell them, I am a business owner, I own a carpet cleaning business, and we do this. So that's who we are now. I want you to own it now. Next time somebody asks you what you do, you tell them you're a business owner. You are no longer a carpet cleaner. So we are business people. So everybody, every man and woman that owns a carpet cleaning business, from today, this point forward, you are a professional business owner. You are not a carpet cleaner any longer, and that's what we're going to own. We're going to build a nation of carpet cleaners that are business owners. No longer are you going to be struggling. You're going to own your numbers, you're going to own your prices, and you're going to tell the customer, this is what it costs. And you're not going to set your prices off someone else's numbers. You're going to know your numbers. So until the next video, remember, like, subscribe to this, rate and review us if you're listening to the podcast. We'd love to hear from you in the comments section. Let me know if you have any questions. And we're going to continue in the next set of videos. We're going to talk more about pricing, more about how to make a profit in your business and guarantee it. So keep watching these videos. Ask me questions if you have any, and I'll talk to you guys next time.